I hope you're all out there having a wonderful day. If you're just tuning into the video, this is actually the second of three coming today, and I just want to let you know that I do have a silver giveaway going on the channel right now. The drawing will conclude in 1 week, and you can actually win prizes worth over $100. There will be two different winners, and if you're a content creator, there's an additional chance to actually win that Alaskan silver proof set in this video. That 4 coin set is up for grabs as well, along with some stuff for second place. Make sure you check it out in the comments below. And in the spirit of giving, I actually wanted to make this video for those of you out there who might have a silver stacker or even a precious metal investor in your life, and you know it's something they're extremely passionate about, but you just don't know quite where to start and actually trying to get them a gift that's related to it. And obviously Christmas is coming up pretty fast, so I'll make this one brief. All I really think that you have to do is identify the type of silver stacker that they actually are. There's two main types of people in the silver stacking world. You have the collector and the investor. Now, of course, you also have the newbie, but I'm assuming if your partner is someone that's been into this for months or especially years and it really is a big passion of theirs, that they're not someone that just heard about silver on a whim and started buying it. I'm assuming that there's someone that seriously actually collects the metal in one way or another, or I should say accumulates it, because the collector obviously would be the person who's collecting it. The person who accumulates metals at the lowest cost possible, that is going to be the investor. And if you want to figure out what type of silver stacker that you're actually buying a gift for, you can either just ask them what is your goal when it comes to silver stacking, and ask them the question in a way that's going to sound natural to how you normally would talk to them. Don't just come up to them and say something that is exactly word for word what I said, because obviously it's going to sound awkward out of context from this direct video. But basically just find a way to ask them what is your goal when it comes to silver stacking? Why do you enjoy silver stacking so much? What do you hope to get from it? And the answer that they give you will tell you very well what kind of stacker that they are. But if you feel like that this is too obvious and that they're going to be able to tell you're trying to get them a silver gift and you want to actually make it a surprise, well, their significant other, just kind of check what kind of stuff is in their collection if you haven't already seen it. Do they tend to have more unique looking silver pieces, like things that look like maybe they were poured by someone, by an individual into a special mold? Or maybe they have other pieces that have high value? Do they have coins that are in special snaps? Or do they have a bunch of silver bars that look relatively generic? Do they have a bunch of silver rounds that again are pretty generic? Do they have a lot of silver eagles in their collection? Whatever they happen to collect, that is going to really tell you the type of silver stacker that they are and how you should actually kind of, I guess, correlate your gift based on that. Because if you're buying for someone who just really cares about getting the most silver possible for their money, then buying them some generic silver bullion will probably be one of the best gifts that you can get. And just searching for generic bullion on eBay, you can actually find a little bit better prices, especially if you can only afford to buy a couple of ounces, than you might find on big websites where you have to actually buy through wire check and buy a large amount of the coins to get the price that they're originally advertising. And even then, you still will see something like $12 premiums on American Silver Eagles sometimes. Absolutely ridiculous numbers that even eBay is not quite as bad with. But wherever you go, you are going to have to pay a little bit more for silver than what you might have seen towards the beginning of 2021. So that is something else just to keep in mind. And it's something that you might see in the future kind of change if the silver premiums happen to go down, if demand actually decreases in relation to the supply. But that's a little bit too complicated. If you're just trying to get the gift for the person, I'm sure they'll appreciate it regardless of what the price of silver currently is. But it's just something to factor in that they might point out if they are a low-cost silver stacker, excuse me, sorry, the train's going off back there. But if they're a low-cost stacker, they might actually just point out the fact that they haven't been buying much right now because the premiums for silver are so high. But if the person turns out to be more of a silver collector, then the amount of gifts that you can get them greatly increases, because now you're talking about all kinds of silver that's higher premium, whether it's hand poured silver, and there's lots of great people that do hand poured silver. You can check out, I'll have a few people actually linked in the description that make some really cool silver gifts I think you might specifically be interested in. But beyond those people, there's all kinds of high premium silver out there that would just be really awesome in anyone's collection. Where to start? I mean, going onto eBay and just putting different keywords along with the word silver into the actual search results will yield you some different items that can at least help you expand your knowledge of what exactly is out there. And if you pick out something that looks really cool to you and it's within your budget, there's a good chance that the person, if they're actually a silver collector, will also think that that piece is cool, especially if you understand a little bit about their own taste. Again, just try to get an understanding of what's in their collection. Obviously, that might not be the easiest thing to do. If you're buying for a family member that you don't always get to see and you have no way to see what kind of silver they have, and maybe you don't have a way to ask them this question without it being too obvious either, then that can put you in a pretty tough spot there. But just try to figure out a way to identify the type of silver stacker they are. And if there's absolutely like no other option, just buy them something that is basically as general as possible. Because at the end of the day, if you're a silver stacker and you get some silver for Christmas, like, that's the best gift pretty much regardless of the type of stacker you are. I mean, I'm just speaking as someone who's really been, interested in silver stacking for the last 7 years now. Anytime someone ever got me silver, regardless of what it was, I was always happy to get it, especially when I was younger. I couldn't always buy silver myself. So just keep in mind that at the end of the day, silver stackers generally are pretty gracious to receive silver as opposed to the normal gifts that they would get. But I do hope that this video helps you a little bit. I'm sorry this is a little bit more of a ramble style video as opposed to something that's super straightforward. I just don't really feel like that there's any easier way to explain it than just, at the end of the day, you have to identify what type of stacker they are. But it's such a nuanced experience that you might have with the person that I wanted to explain different scenarios and kind of just, as I got to different like pathways in my own brain or ways of thinking during the video, I want to explore each one. And I do hope that at the very least this video does help you, and it also gives you a starting point of what to actually do once you figure out the type of stacker that you're actually buying for. Again, I will link some companies in the description that I believe will actually help you on both the side of getting generic bullion along with on the side of actually getting some higher premium silver bullion, depending on who you're buying for. But that is truly it for this one now. Peace.